Does everything look good? Everything's fine? Okay. So, hi everybody, it's Christine from the Love Boat Alumni Initiative. It is May 17th on a Sunday afternoon at 6:40, and I'm here with my mom, who I've enlisted to help me record this. And we've never done this before, so hopefully we won't make any mistakes. But I've always been a big documenter. I've always kept journals. I always take lots of copious notes. And what I'm learning as we're using all these different new technologies for the Love Boat Alumni Initiative is that just talking to, recording a video is so much faster and so much easier than my trying to write it down in some sort of journal online or offline. And I'm learning this from Rainbow Chen, who I interviewed for our first podcast. We're connected on Facebook, and I see her. She's online all the time. She's always doing live videos. I'm like, wow, that's just so much easier. Why? I was always afraid to be on the camera, but now it's like, just forget that. I don't care. Just do it. But anyway, so I guess I'm learning is that I cannot talk to a camera. I don't know how people do a selfie and they just talk forever as they're walking down the street or whatever. I have to talk to someone, and that's why I'm always asking people to do this for me. So that's why we're here. But the reason I want to record this today is because we had a monumental thing just happen in the last 24 to 48 hours. And I'm already starting to forget how it all happened. So I need to nail this down and record it because it goes down in history. So basically what happened was I'm in regular contact with Cindy Liu. She is the OCAC Deputy Director of in San Francisco. And she's the one who spoke at our 2024 reunion. And, we're kind of always, I don't know, she'll text me every once in a while. She needs help. She wants to help us to help promote one of their programs that's coming up. Or I'll text her and say, oh, I have a question about this. And so, we work really well together. But she gets really busy and I get really busy. And sometimes I don't hear from her. I ask her a question. I don't hear from her for maybe a week or two. And I understand. And the same thing happens with me. She'll ask me something and I don't have the time to really give her a correct response, and so it just hangs there. And so recently I've been trying to get together with her because there's a lot going on. I mean, if you're alumni in our Facebook group, you will know that there's just so many things are happening right now. And so anyway, I had asked her, when can we get together? And I didn't hear from her. And then a couple of days ago, she finally got back to me. She's like, oh, Christine, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. The deputy minister is here in the Bay Area. She's visiting and she's here for meetings. She knew I was on travel. She's like, when do you get back? Because she wanted to try to find a way for me to meet her if there's that opportunity. And I was like, oh, darn, I don't get back until, such and such time. But by the time I get back, the deputy minister will have already returned back, or she would have left the Bay Area. And so I was like, is there any way she can stay and attend our May 31st meet and greet in the Bay Area? Because that would be such a huge moment for the deputy minister to come to one of our events and speak. And she's like, yeah, we can't do that. And I was like, okay, well, we tried, so there's nothing we can do. So I think a day or two goes by, and 2 nights ago, I'm lying in bed. It's midnight, so I'm on the East Coast. And Cindy texts me, so it's 9 o'clock her time. She's like, are you free tomorrow at 9:30 a.m., which is my 12:30 p.m.? I'm like, sure. She's like, okay, the deputy minister would like to talk to you for 10 minutes. I was like, okay, I can do that. So I was like, oh, what's her name? She goes, Elaine Lee. I was like, okay, how do I call her? How do I address her? Because I've never talked to a deputy minister before. So she wrote it, and I had to read it a couple of times. It was like, 侨委会 is a 副委员长，对吗？
Yeah.
副委员长. So I had to say, practice it. 副委员长, 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 because I can't get it wrong, right? Okay, so then that means it was midnight. There was no way I could think about what I'm going to say to her in 10 minutes because the story of the Love Boat is so complicated. I can't get it down into 10 minutes. So the next morning I got up early, went to Starbucks. I just, and I had all these other things to do too because there's a public hearing about potentially demolishing Gentan going on at the same time. So I was like, okay. So at Starbucks, was about an hour before the meeting. I finally I could sit down and look at my notes. I'm like, okay, what do I really want her to know right now, and what can I just send to her later as an email, as a link? There's time to, we have the rest of our lives for me to explain the full story of the Love Boat Alumni Initiative, but I only have 10 minutes with her, so what do I want to tell her? I should have my notes. Darn it, I should have brought my notes. But, and so what it came down to is the most important thing that's happening in the immediate future is the July 4th reunion at Gentan. That's come together in the last minute. And so that's what I focused on. And I know they want the numbers. Everybody wants numbers. So immediately, so what happened? So yeah, about 12:20, Starbucks is too loud. I didn't have the microphones on me, so I got into the car and I drove around looking for some shade. So I was sitting in my car waiting for her to call me. And then Cindy texted me, she's like, oh, I'm gonna be late. So Sophia Zhuang, the 主任, the Milpitas, 侨委会 Milpitas 主任, whom I've met with many times, we have a report. She's like, oh, she's gonna be on the call and I'll catch up as soon as I can. I'm like, that's great, okay. So she calls me. 庄主任 calls me, and we're facing each other. So it's online. Everybody uses line in Taiwan. So apparently they're together. It looks like they're having lunch or breakfast together. It must be breakfast for them. And it's the deputy minister, Elaine Lee. It is the director of Milpitas, Sophia Zhuang, and then eventually Cindy shows up, the deputy director in San Francisco. And so she basically just said, hi, I think, yeah, tell me about your organization. And so I immediately started telling her the numbers. We have 566 people in our Facebook group. We have several hundred people in our mailing list. There's also a lot of people that are not in our Facebook group because they don't like to use Facebook, or they're not in our mailing list because they haven't signed up. So there's a whole bunch of other people that we haven't captured. And by the way, I'm the founder of Oriented, and I explained to her that it was International Professionals Networking Group. I was like, globally, we have 45,000 to 50,000 members. And in Taipei, we have an Oriented Taipei Facebook group that has 2,300 members. And I could see them all going, because it's the first time I've actually said this. I don't know why I never really told them all the numbers before, but I think that they were like, oh, well, okay, this is way bigger than any, and I was like, yes, this Gentan, what we are planning to have our Love Boat reunion at Gentan on July 4th. And the purpose of the panel discussion there and the panel discussion at the September reunion in LA is that, so in Taiwan, we would like to have a panelist of local counselors to talk to us about their suggestions and their recommendations. If we can successfully relaunch the Love Boat program, what would they know what went well and what went wrong and what can be improved. And likewise, at our September reunion, we're going to have a panelist of overseas counselors to do the same. And that's the start, because this program ran for 46 years. There's so much knowledge in people's heads that hasn't been documented. That's valuable information, even if we never do successfully relaunch the program. It would be very helpful to document what they know. It could be it's useful, it's meaningful, it's worth it. So anyway, now I'm starting to go off. So when I told her, the deputy minister, I'm like, the point of all of this is because we want our children, the next generation, to go on the Love Boat program. And I said, I understand OCAC has their own summer programs, and you guys have a lot of different things going on, and we know that you would like to promote those events to the alumni, but there's nothing like the 6-week Love Boat program that once was, and we want that to come back. How that's going to happen, we don't know yet. But the first step is to gather the information that we do have, and that's in the memories of all the local counselors and all of the overseas counselors. And she goes, wow, darn it, I wish I had recorded that meeting. That would have been hilarious. But anyway, she gave me 10 minutes. I used up the whole 10 minutes. I said everything I wanted to say, and that was awesome. So that was 12:30 in the morning. About 12 hours later, so 12 hours later, there's a public hearing that was happening in Taipei at Gentan to talk about the future of Gentan. It's a very sordid story. You know, it's online. Mom, you're going, Mom, are you falling asleep? What's happening? Do we have to redo this?
Go ahead.
Is it that boring? Are you not listening? You don't care about me, Mom. Just don't drop the phone, okay? I'm almost done. Basically, the point is that the reason why we know about this public hearing is because the director that Dean Liu and Len Li met with last week, he emailed them and said, hey, can you attend this? And at the time, Dean and Len didn't really know what it was. They just knew it was an event. And eventually Dean asked him, hey, can you give me more information about it? And found out it was a public hearing. And then he says, and the director of Gentan would like to meet with